This is the first time that I'm speaking about it. It's something that I'll never forget.
A former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs speaking out in the new interview with new allegations about wild parties.
Get ready for an eye-opening deep dive into one of the most scandalous and chaotic celebrity dramas of the decade. Picture this. Sean Diddy Combs, one of hip-hop's most iconic figures, a man who crafted an empire with his charisma, talent, and relentless drive, is now at the heart of a storm filled with allegations, lawsuits, and explosive leaks that could rattle the entire entertainment industry. This is the kind of story where every twist is more jaw-dropping than the last, and believe us, there's plenty to unravel. So buckle up, because this is a saga of fame, power, and scandal like you've never experienced before.
Explain why he's speaking out now.
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked.
Let's kick things off with the headlines that have been dominating social media and news outlets for months. Sean, the man known affectionately as Diddy, Puff Daddy, or simply Puff, is no stranger to controversy. But this time, the stakes are higher than ever. We're talking about accusations of misconduct spanning decades, courtroom drama that could rival the best crime thrillers, and a wave of leaked recordings that have left the public both stunned and divided. On top of that, the lawsuits are piling up, each more shocking than the last. It's a saga that's got everyone wondering, has Diddy's carefully crafted empire finally crumbled under the weight of its secrets?
He's responsible for Diddy's day-to-day life, so he is able to provide a lot of information about what that life was like. He goes into detail on extensive.
The drama truly escalated when an explosive lawsuit was filed against Diddy's son, Christian King Combs. While Christian may not have enjoyed the same level of spotlight as his father, this lawsuit thrust both father and son into the spotlight, accusing them of some seriously disturbing behavior aboard a yacht. Christian faced direct accusations, while Sean Combs was implicated for allegedly enabling and facilitating the situation. Then came the leaked audio recordings, which CNN reportedly reviewed. In these recordings, the alleged victim claimed she was coerced into participating in activities against her while after consuming a drink she suspected was spiked. This lawsuit sent shockwaves through the industry, not because it was the first time Diddy's name had been linked to controversy, but
He explained all of the items that were involved in these Wild King nights. Did he mention who would participate as well?
A lot of them were unknown to him. He did mention that a lot of the women were very, very young as 20, not underage,
But that was just the beginning. Things took a darker turn with Diddy's arrest in September 2024. The charges against him? Let's just say they read like the plot of a gritty Netflix crime drama. According to the US Department of Justice, Diddy's business empire allegedly operated like a criminal organization, with accusations ranging from trafficking to racketeering. Prosecutors painted a chilling portrait of a man who used his wealth, influence, and resources to intimidate, control, and manipulate those around him. They even claimed he'd set up an elaborate network to cover his tracks, relying on employees and associates to keep his alleged activities under wraps. This wasn't just about one or two isolated incidents. Prosecutors alleged a pattern of behavior that spanned years, maybe even decades.
Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes. But
Yes.
the shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession.
And let's not forget the leaked audio recordings that have been keeping the internet buzzing. These aren't just random clips, apparently. They include conversations with Diddy himself, along with other major celebrities like Beyoncé and Meek Mill. One particularly eyebrow-raising recording allegedly featured Beyoncé defending her presence at Diddy's infamous parties, claiming that everyone who attended knew exactly what they were getting into. The leaked footage has set social media ablaze, with fans picking apart every word and speculating about who knew what and when. For someone like Diddy, who's always been known for controlling his narrative with precision, these leaks are nothing short of catastrophic.
There was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at
Okay.
a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. it doesn't seem like they're active participants in the video.
Now, here's where things take a truly bizarre turn. During one of the raids on Diddy's properties, authorities reportedly seized an enormous quantity of "you won't believe this" baby oil. While it might sound trivial, this detail has quickly become one of the most talked about aspects of the case. Why? Because whispers and rumors about the role of this seemingly innocent product in Diddy's private gatherings have been circulating for years. It's one of those strange, almost surreal details that makes this case impossible to look away from. In fact, one accuser has come forward, claiming that the baby oil played a key role in what she describes as ritualistic activities at Diddy's gatherings. If nothing else, it's a detail that keeps this story firmly planted in the public's imagination.
Their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
Of course, we can't talk about the accusations without addressing the alleged use of substances at these gatherings. Former assistants, insiders, and even paid companions have described scenes that sound straight out of a Hollywood thriller. One former employee claimed he was assigned to procure everything from high-end libations to performance enhancers, with these items often being used during what some have referred to as themed nights. While these claims remain unverified, they've helped fuel a narrative that Diddy's world wasn't just about excess, it was about a culture where it was not only encouraged, but expected.
Sometimes you have him with a younger female, and there's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaged.
It's also worth noting the eerie silence from Diddy's celebrity friends and collaborators over the years. Diddy has been one of the most well-connected figures in Hollywood, throwing parties that hosted everyone from politicians to A-list actors to members of the British royal family. Yet, in the wake of these accusations, many of his high-profile acquaintances have remained conspicuously quiet. Could it be that they're afraid of being implicated? There are rumors, unconfirmed, of course, that Diddy kept a vault of compromising material on some of the biggest names in the industry. If true, it would explain why so many are opting to stay out of the spotlight for now. Adding another layer of intrigue is the ongoing speculation about Diddy's mental state. Reports from inside the Metropolitan Detention Center suggest that Diddy has had moments of extreme distress. One insider claimed he suffered a meltdown after realizing he would likely spend the holidays behind bars. However, another source dismissed this as an exaggeration, saying that Diddy has been practicing meditation and breathing exercises to maintain his composure. Either way, the contrast between his current reality and his former life of luxury couldn't be starker. As one legal expert put it, the man who once ruled the music world now finds himself fighting for basic privileges like access to a laptop in jail.
Push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
And we can't overlook the courtroom drama itself. During one of his pre-trial hearings, Diddy's legal team argued that the conditions at the detention center were making it nearly impossible for him to prepare for his defense. They requested access to a laptop, citing the sheer volume of evidence they needed to review. The judge's response: a firm reminder that Diddy is subject to the same rules as every other inmate. It was a humbling moment for a man who once seemed untouchable, and a reminder that, in the eyes of the law, even billionaires don't get special treatment.
Everybody familiar with the old Houdini? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Houdini. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. The video that the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not Diddy...
The intensity of the legal proceedings is only rivaled by the media frenzy surrounding them. Every leaked document, courtroom appearance, and new allegation becomes headline news, feeding the public's insatiable thirst for details about the case. Documentaries and exposés are being produced at an astonishing rate, each one promising to uncover the real Diddy. But with so much information and misinformation floating around, it's tough to separate fact from fiction. What's clear, however, is that this case has become a cultural touchstone, forcing us to confront uncomfortable questions about power, privilege, and accountability in the entertainment industry. Yet, despite the mounting allegations and damning evidence, there's a sense that Diddy isn't going down without a fight. His legal team, led by the formidable Mark Agnifilo, has been working tirelessly to poke holes in the prosecution's case. They've argued that many of the accusations are based on hearsay and that the leaked recordings have been taken out of context. Agnifilo has also highlighted Diddy's past philanthropic efforts, portraying him as a flawed but ultimately good-hearted individual. It's a strategy designed to humanize him in the eyes of the jury, but whether it will succeed remains to be seen.
House in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid, Diddy's jail cell, just yesterday. What were the contents of those raids?
Well, apparently, according to the defense, they're legal documents. The government's saying no, on the contrary, they're just some handwritten notes and a...
As the May trial date looms, the world is watching with bated breath. Will more explosive details come to light? Will Diddy's celebrity allies finally break their silence? Or will this saga end with one of hip-hop's most iconic figures being held accountable for his actions? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over, and the next chapter promises to be just as gripping as the last. Now, let's dive even deeper into this jaw-dropping tale of fame, power, and scandal. If you thought the first part of this story was wild, brace yourself, because what's coming next takes things to a whole new level. Diddy Combs, once the king of hip-hop and a symbol of success and swagger, now finds himself engulfed in one of the most gripping legal sagas we've ever seen. And the courtroom chaos surrounding his case isn't just about the allegations, it's also about the people involved, the secrets being spilt, and the ripple effects shaking the entire entertainment industry.
So there's a few things going on. First is the privilege issue. The judge will decide whether the documents are privileged or not. If they're not, they're going to go to the government. If the documents are not only not privileged, but they're evidence of witness tampering, then a few things can happen, all of which are bad for Sean Diddy Combs. First, of course, he could face obstruction of justice charges in a superseding and...
Picture this. Diddy, a man who once walked red carpets with unmatched confidence, is now sitting in a courtroom surrounded by lawyers, judges, and spectators, with the weight of decades of accusations pressing down on him. And right behind him, his family, his children, even his mother, all gathered in a show of solidarity. During one hearing, he reportedly turned around to blow kisses to his loved ones, offering a rare glimpse of vulnerability from a man who built his brand on being untouchable. But don't be fooled, this isn't some heartwarming family drama. It's a high-stakes battle for his
They probably didn't see these notes, and they never will.
But if you're Diddy, don't you want your notes back?
Yeah.
If you've spent so many hours gathering evidence for your side or strategy or whatever, for me I'd be oh no, please don't destroy, please return.
The pre-trial hearings have themselves been a spectacle, with Diddy's legal team pulling every trick in the book to defend their client. One of their main complaints: the conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center, where Diddy has been held since his arrest. His lawyers argued that the lack of access to proper resources, like a laptop, was making it nearly impossible for him to prepare for his defense. They painted a picture of a man fighting not only the charges against him but also the system itself. But if you think the judge was swayed, think again. The court made it clear that Diddy isn't above the rules, no matter how famous or powerful he might be. It was a dark reminder that even the man who once seemed larger than life is now subject to the same restrictions as any other inmate. And then there's the testimony. The testimony. If you've been following the case, you know that some of the most shocking revelations have come from people who were once part of Diddy's inner circle. Take Phil Pines, for example. Diddy's former senior executive assistant, Pines, has been one of the most vocal insiders, spilling the tea on what he describes as a world of excess, manipulation, and control. From the so-called wild nights to the bizarre requests he says he had to fulfill, Pines' accounts have added a new level of intrigue to the case. He even recalled being pressured to participate in one of these infamous gatherings, describing it as a moment that forever changed his life. According to Pines, Loyalty wasn't just a value in Diddy's world, it was a test, one that came with consequences if you dared to fail.
Saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
What's even more unsettling is the level of detail Pines provided about the aftermath of these events. He described walking into rooms that looked like scenes straight out of a movie, dim lighting, scattered items, and an eerie silence that hinted at the chaos that had just unfolded. Pines claimed he was often left to clean up the mess, a task that included everything from tidying up to ensuring no evidence of the night's activities was left behind. It's the kind of story that makes you wonder how many others were involved in covering up what went on behind closed doors, and how long it went on before someone finally decided.
He is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, it is scary because you think, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your...
But Pines isn't the only one lifting the curtain on Diddy's private world. Another former associate, identified only as Nathan, has come forward with allegations that paint an equally disturbing picture. Nathan, who described himself as someone hired for specific services, claimed that Diddy's gatherings were anything but ordinary. He described them as ritualistic, with every detail carefully planned and choreographed. Nathan even alleged that Diddy had a habit of watching from the shadows, using mirrors or other tricks to observe without being seen. These claims, whether true or not, have only added fuel to the fire, with people speculating about what really went on at these exclusive events. And let's not forget about the tapes, those infamous recordings that have been the subject of endless speculation. While we don't know exactly what's on them, rumors suggest they could include footage of some of Diddy's most high-profile friends and collaborators. Imagine the implications if those tapes were to see the light of day. It's no wonder many celebrities who were once close to Diddy have chosen to stay silent. After all,
that fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the